Okay, we're going to review a few concepts today. So we're going to talk first about perfect squares, just to review them. So when we factor a perfect square trinomial, just recall a perfect square trinomial is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, so if we look at the one above here, you'd have x squared plus 2 times 8 times x plus 8 squared. Okay, and then when you factor it, it would just be x plus 8 squared. So if you notice the next one, okay, quick way to factor it is half of negative 10. So negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. And if we square that, you should get 25. If we do, it's a perfect square trinomial. X minus 5 is the factor. Okay, again, 14 divided by 2 is 7. And 7 squared is 49. So x plus 7 squared is the factored version of perfect square trinomial. So let's try a couple on our own, and I'll take them up with you. Okay, to find the missing number, we're going to go 12 divided by 2 is 6, and then 6 squared is 36. So 36, make sure you put your sign in, plus 36 gets added in. The number that we squared was 6, so it's going to be x plus 6 in the bracket. Okay, negative 18. Negative 18 divided by 2 is negative 9. Negative 9 squared is 81. So plus 81. We're always going to have the positive there. Minus 9 goes in the bracket. X minus 9 squared. Okay, so here are the three different forms of a quadratic. Vertex form, y equals a bracket x minus h bracket squared plus k. So what this tells you, hk is the vertex. So right from that form, if we know that form, we know the vertex. We can just pull it straight out. Factored form tells you the zeros. So R and S are the zeros. Another word for zeros, x-intercepts. Okay, so they tell you the x-intercepts. Standard form kind of doesn't give us a whole lot. The c value, c is the y-intercept. Okay, so straight away you can say the initial value, or if you're talking about an application question, like the ball was thrown from whatever number c is, that's the height the ball was thrown from. Notice though, in all three forms, they all have the same letter in the front, A. Okay, so that can tell you like which way it opens. If A is positive, it opens up. phase negative, it opens down. Okay, so for these ones, I want you to quickly just pause the video and just try to determine which form each of them are in. Okay, so let's try them. First one is in factored form. And the zeros, or the x-intercepts, are 4 and -1. Remember, they're opposite of what they look like in the bracket. Okay, the second one is in standard form. And again, the y-intercept here is -18. The third one is in vertex form. And the vertex is 1, 13. Remember, out of the bracket, it's always the opposite number, okay? The next one here is in factored form. You could have rewritten this one as x plus 0, x plus 9. Okay, again, in the zeros, the x-intercepts are 0 and -9. Okay, the next one's a little tricky. It's actually in two forms at the same time. It's in standard form. And it's also in factored form. So if I looked here, the x-intercepts is -7, 0. And the vertex is also -7, 0. Okay, so we're just going to state the y-intercepts for each of these. Just remember, when you are trying to find the y-intercept, you just sub in x equals 0. So y equals 4 bracket 0 plus 2 squared minus 7. So 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So 4 times 4 minus 7. Y equals 16 minus 7. And therefore, the y-intercept is going to be 9. 16 minus 7 is 9. We're in standard form for the second one. So we know the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is 9. Last one's in factored form, so just sub in 0 again for x. Y equals -2 bracket 0 plus 4. Okay, now just multiply all the numbers together. So -2 times 4 is -8. -8 times -1 is 8. So the y-intercept here is 8. And now the most important thing is being able to convert from one form to another. So to go from factored form, which we're in, to standard form, we need to expand. So this would be like FOIL. My suggestion would be leave the 2 to the end and expand the bracket first. And now we can just multiply that 2 through the bracket. After we simplify those two x terms. So y equals 2x squared minus 18x plus 40. And that's in standard form. So if we're in standard form and we want to go to factored form, we need to factor. Okay, so we need two numbers that multiply to negative 28. And add up to negative 3. So this will end up being negative 7 times 4. So y equals x minus 7 x plus 4. Okay, to go from vertex form to standard form, again, we just need to expand and simplify. So my suggestion would be expand your brackets first. If you need to, just rewrite them as x minus 4, x minus 4, and expand them. This is a perfect square trinomial. So you're just going to multiply x times 4, negative 4, which is negative 4x, and double it. That'll give you negative 8x plus 16 plus 2. Okay, now distribute the negative 3 through the bracket. So y equals negative 3x squared plus 24x minus 48 plus 2. And then just add the 2. Y equals negative 3x squared plus 24x minus 46.